national anthem, if we can all rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening. My name is Sharonda Lewis, and I'm the president of class of 2015. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our new home, Ballou Senior High School. We are honored to host this candidates forum here. This opportunity provides Ballou students to be civically engaged and learn more about the voting process. Again, thank you and welcome to Ballou.
My name is Dr. Reeves, and I am the proud principal of Ballou High School. This is an event that is a wonderful event for us to host. We are happy that you're here. Please enjoy our amazing facility. And again, welcome to Ballou High School. Thank you.
Isn't it wonderful to be in the new home of the bold, courageous, outstanding Knights? I'm ready for it. I'm even wearing my blue and gold. All right. We want to thank everyone who helped to make this event happen. We have not had a special election for Ward 8 City Council in 20 years. We had one 20 years ago. Only 12% of the people voted, and the winner won the seat by just one vote. So every vote counts, and thanks for being here and engaging in this wonderful exercise in voter education. I will thank the following organizations that collaborated over the past 3 months to put on this event. And they are the Anacostia Coordinating Council, the Ballou High School Community Council, Ballou High School PTSA, Advisory Neighborhood Commissions 8A and 8C, Anacostia Economic Development Corporation, Anacostia River Realty, Angela Copeland, Capital City Services, Congress Heights Community Association, DC for Democracy, DC Latino Caucus, East of the River Newspaper, Entrusted Development LLC, Fairlawn Citizens Association, Far Southeast Family Strictly Collaborative, Federal City Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Fort Stanton Civic Association, Inner Thoughts Incorporated, NAACP, DC Branch, River East Emerging Leaders, Rocket Ship Education, Rosalind Parker, the Washington Informer, United Planning Organization, Ward 8 Arts and Culture Council, Ward 8 Workforce Development Council, Willow Creek LLC, and the William O. Lockridge Foundation. Thank you.
Hello, do I have everyone's attention? Good evening, everyone. My name is Amira Bean, and today on this momentous occasion, I will be presenting to you guys Troy Dante Presswood. Principle, integrity, experience. Those are the 3 words often used to describe tonight's moderator. Mr. Troy Dante Presswood, the founder and CEO of Presswood Public Relations. He is currently serving his first term as Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner for 8A04. A fourth-generation Washingtonian, Commissioner Presswood has always maintained a kindred connection to his hometown. While he's had a number of struggles in his life, including a dysfunctional family and living situations that led him to seek refuge at Sasha Ruth's house as a teenager, he never took his eyes off the prize. He attended District of Columbia Public Schools and went on to graduate from Duke Ellington School of Arts. He served the AmeriCorps as a Vista service member assigned to the former East Capitol Dwellings public housing projects in Northeast and Southeast DC, and would later confound District Chronicles newspaper to usher in a new voice on issues affecting our community. Commissioner Presswood recognized the growing need to organize the next generation of young leaders from DC's East of the River neighborhoods, so he confounded River East Emerging Leaders, a leadership collective created to engage and empower the community. He was also selected by fellow homeowners to serve as the first president of an Anacostia-based condominium association. He worked with a group of alums to create the Duke Ellington Alumni Association, where he developed an outreach campaign and helped raise funds for student scholarships. Most recently, he was tapped by the dean of the Howard University School of Communications to create the new seats on the board of directors for Youngnificent Incorporation, an after-school youth services program based in Anacostia. Last but not least, Commissioner Presswood earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree in journalism and political science from Howard University, and a Master's of Arts degree in interactive journalism and public affairs from American University, and holds membership with the National Association of Black Journalists and the Public Relations Society of America. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Troy Dante Presswood.
Will you please join me in thanking Amira Bean once again for that introduction? She did a great job. I just want to let you know, if you don't know, she's a senior class vice president here at Ballou. And she has plans to attend the University of Maryland Eastern Shore in the fall. Also, the young lady who welcomed you earlier, the senior class president, her name is Sharonda Lewis. Would you also give it up for her too? Earlier, those of you who were in here got a chance to hear the Ballou's marching knights. Let's give it up for them. And of course, we can't do any of this without thanking the leader of this institution here, Dr. Reeves, who keeps it all together. All right, I'm going to grab this up. So no doubt you've seen lots of young people here tonight who are directing you to your seats and showing you where the restrooms are. They will be taking your questions tonight. Where are the young people taking questions so everyone can see you? Okay, make sure you make eye contact with these young people. They're going to be taking your questions, but we're going to mix up a little bit different tonight. We're going to basically put all the questions that come in from the audience into a basket. And in that basket, we will pull 13 of them at random, and we will ask one question to one candidate. Does that make sense? So unfortunately, because of time, we can't ask each candidate a single question, but the same question, but we will ask one question of each candidate that you see here tonight. And we'll keep going until we're done. All right, so by a show of hands, how many of you have made your minds up about the candidate that you're going to support on April 28th? Okay, and how many of you have yet to make up your mind yet about which candidate you will support on April 28th? All right, so it's about half. All right, I think this is not unusual. I think this is where the ward is at this time, so that makes sense to me. Well, tonight's forum is not only for the converted, but the unconverted. And so the objective of the collaborative is to open up these candidates in a way that they haven't had a chance to do before, so that you can make the best decision for the future of Ward 8. My job tonight, simple. Ensure the process is fair, balanced, and to keep the forum moving. I invite, how many of you guys tweet and Facebook and Instagram and all those things? Okay, not very many people. Well, I invite you to tweet, Facebook, Instagram, tonight's event. You can tweet me at Troy Donte, TROYDONTE. You can also use the hashtag Ward8. And what I want to do is pull some questions from Twitter and Facebook, if we have time to do that tonight. So once again, the hashtag is Ward8. As far as housekeeping rules, if you have questions, once again, submit them to the young people who will be walking around collecting your cards. Be sure to add your name or your neighborhood if you want a special shout out if you're selected. All questions, again, will be placed in the basket. I will randomly pull one and ask one candidate the question. Please make your questions general. Do not ask specific questions because they won't be used. Also, the straw poll is ongoing right outside the gym, and we believe that it will also go on once we're done here tonight for a few more moments. So make sure, if you are a registered Ward 8 voter, that you register your voice tonight in this collaborative straw poll. Up first is opening statements. The order of who will go first is random. I have a special envelope here.
My vision for the ward is basically a four-pronged platform. And I'm focusing on public safety. And I don't mean increasing police, I mean strengthening families. The second part of the platform that is actually been driven directly from people in the community via a survey that I've been doing is an increase in funding for public education. The third leg, and what it is, that the vision for School Anderson platform for Ward 8 is housing. And then there is jobs. Jobs with a living wage.
I'm a community leader. I've been an ASC commissioner for over 4 terms, serving 2,000 residents and sometimes 14,000. Because when I go in front of the committee of the whole, the Office of Zoning, I speak on behalf of 8A and the residents of Ward 8. I will put the residents first, as I've always done, and that's why I'm asking you when you go to the polls on April 28th to vote for Greta Fuller. The people are first. The first name on the ballot, Greta Fuller. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Natalie Williams, and I come to this race with a unique blend of experience unlike any other candidate seated here today, from both the national level and local levels of politics. But this is not about me. This is about you, the residents of Ward 8. 2 miles from here, we see a very different city. Last night, our mayor talked about the state of the district, and I'm quite concerned after hearing some of the things that I heard. But my candidacy represents a new leadership that is committed to closing the gap between what's happening east of the Anacostia River and west of the park. By electing me, I'm sure you that you will get national results for your vote.
Thank you. The next question.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Keita Vanderpool, and I'm the next candidate-elect for Ward 8 City Council. I learned at an early age it takes a vision and a plan to execute the desired outcome of what you want to have happen in your life, your destiny. My plan is no different. I was diagnosed with lupus at the age of 13. I've had to learn to read, write, and do many things over again. And as I run for your next candidate-elected leader, I see no difference in trying to do the same thing and making sure we have a sure plan for Ward 8.
My name is Jahar Abraham. I'm number 11 on the ballot. I'm not in this race because I aspire to be a politician, but I believe in public service. I think that here in Ward 8, for the longest time, we've been like on 95 South headed to New York from DC. Y'all know we're never going to get to New York heading on 95 South. We need a leader who's going to come in and turn the direction around of Ward 8. I don't see us moving in the right direction. I live in a ward where we had 30 stabbings and shootings a week. Number 11 on the ballot. Thank you.
It's an honor to be back here in the Blue High School, where I had the honor of hiring dozens of Southeastern Ward 8 residents to help rebuild this facility. I come from a background of being a business owner. I've hired hundreds of people here in this community to help rebuild. I'm the only candidate that's actually built a school, a rec center, or a library here in Southeast. And who says the status quo has to still be followed if not working? It's all right for us to start over with new leadership and under a new vision. And that's what I plan to do for this board.
And I'm a graduate of Frank W. Blue Senior High School, class of 02. I'm a proud resident here in Ward 8, and part of why I'm running is this. We need strong, innovative, integrity leadership in Ward 8. I was being mentored by Councilman McBurry. I ran for the State Board of Education before. I served as Vice President of the Ward 8 Democrats, and I just believe that my life is dedicated to making my community better because my community raised me. There's my hope as a young man, 30 years old, home in Ward 8, that you select Trayon White as your next leader for the Ward 8 City Council. Trayon White, Ward 8.
Executive, legislative, and executive. I was an ANC commissioner for about 10 years, decent tax cap commissioner for about 10 years. In those roles, I've led, I've written legislation, I've produced bills, I've done resolutions. I'm the one that had William Rockridge Street named after William Rockridge, and that took a resolution to go to the city council. I'm a proven leader.
All right, good evening, Ward 8. My name is Eugene DeWitt Kinlow, and I'm running because I've got the vision, leadership, and experience to move Ward 8 from the challenges of the past to a strong Ward 8. We can be strong again if we make the right investments in people and in places. We can be strong again if we focus on making strong communities, ones that make investments in our young people so they have opportunities for the future. Invest in our families so that they can take care of their young folk. Invest in our senior citizens, allowing them to age in place gracefully and making sure that each and every neighborhood is safe. Eugene Kinlow.
My name is Gunnar Watson Sr. I'm the only candidate up here that's qualified to move this ward forward. I've been on the city council twice. I'm an 8-year veteran of the House Veteran Trust Fund Board. I have a degree in management from Cotton State College before most of them was voted. I'm the only one that moves all aspects of this board forward. I have a vested interest in this board. I've been in the trenches a long time, and my job is to move everybody in Ward 8 forward, not just a select few.
Your vote to be your new Ward 8 council member. I'm running because I love my ward and because I'm the best qualified candidate to be your new voice in the city council. I'm a homegrown native Washingtonian, born in Ward 8, raised in Ward 8. I served as Deputy Chief of Staff to Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes-Lord. Served as Deputy Chief of Staff to Mayor Vincent T. Gray, where I handled a $10.6 billion budget and handled over 32,000 employees. None of the other candidates have that experience.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Muhammad. I'm running for Ward 8 City Council because I'm the only candidate that has 24 years as an elected advisory neighborhood commissioner. I never missed a meeting. I never quit. I never gave up. I don't owe the city any money. I don't owe $600,000. I voted in every election. I am your candidate. I will not sell you out in Ward 8. You will not have to be worried about losing where you live at in Ward 8.
Thank you. The first question I'm going to ask is, last night, Mayor Bowser gave her first State of the District address, where she laid out a number of priorities, including pledging a new era of transparency in local government, vowing to outfit all DC police officers with body cameras, consult with residents on development projects, and finish the Beleaguer streetcar line. Now, she pledged to also put an end to chronic homelessness and to create more opportunities for residents who want to stay in the city. Question, Did you attend the State of the District address last night? And what would you say is in it for Ward 8? Let's start with the very first person on the ballot, Greg Fuller.
No, I did not attend, but I did watch it on television. I heard her say a number of things, but I'm not sure how much she's going to make those things happen. One thing that she said that she has an RRP. Being an ANC commissioner in historic Anacostia, we had an RFP that went out for the residents. Well, the residents was part of that project, but when it came time for the project to be developed, the residents were put in the back and our wishes were unheard. So if you're going to put an RRP out, start with a big case site and start with...
Hello, thank you for the question. Yes, I did. I have the privilege of attending the State of the District by Mayor Bowser, and I'm excited about the resources that will go into recreation. I'm excited about the March Madness program that the mayor talked about that is going to put on the street the Anacostia Gateway. We know that needs to be redeveloped, and I'm excited to see that the resources are finally going to come toward it so that we can get and share the prosperity that's happening across the river.
The mayor's State of the District ceremony last night because I think it's a waste of time. I think that she's making a lot of campaign with it, but she's not going to deliver on anything when it comes to this river. I think she's been bought and sold by developers, and if we put all our money in her and trust her, we're going to still be left behind and not going to see anything in Ward 8. We have to keep our feet to the fire and make sure that we're at the table and get the things that we need to do to move this war forward.
Yes, I did have an opportunity to attend the mayor's State of the District address, and while I was concerned about quite a bit of what the mayor had to say to answer your question, what's in it for Ward 8, I was pleased to hear her be committed to building a state-of-the-art hospital east of the Anacostia River. Let's hope that it will be right here in Ward 8. I was also pleased to hear her say that $100 million would be set aside for the Housing Production Trust Fund, and that goes directly to preserving affordable housing right here in our communities.
5 on the ballot, yes, I was there. I went inside for a brief moment, and then I did exactly what I always do. I stood in the ranks of those who protest the activities that take place against Ward 8. As an activist, I'm always on the front line fighting for the people that I love. What's in it for Ward 8? There were many things that were said by the mayor. I would hold her feet to the fire on the 100 million. I'd press it up to 150 if I could. There are a few other things that she spoke of that I'd like to help out with, and we'll see how that works out when we go to school.
No, I did not attend the State of the District. I did watch it live stream after I stopped door knocking and phone banking. Two things that resonated with me from the mayor's State of the District: $100 million for the Housing Production Trust Fund. That means that we are preserving and creating affordable housing for our residents, especially our low-income residents who make 0 to 30% of AMI. And secondly, making sure that east of the river has a state-of-the-art acute care facility right here in this ward. We need to focus on that. We have the highest incidence of diabetes.
Thank you, Ms. Blunt.
No, I did not go because she's only been in office 90 days. I don't think it's too much she can tell us in 90 days. Ward 8, we are not stupid. We know that she does not deliver. We will vote her out in 4 years. We've done it before, we'll do it again. So I'm waiting to see what she's really going to do. Promises. I'm waiting to see what she's really going to do. The Councilwoman Ward 4, she did not do a good job. So now I want to see what she's going to do to us up in Ward 8. Ward 8, stay on your ground. Vote her out if she doesn't come through for you.
No, I did not attend, but I did review. And the thing that stood out to me the most, and which is the most important to everyone in this room, is that she committed more resources and more funding for not just the residents who have been here for 4 or 5 months, but the people like us who have been here for 4 or 5 generations. And also she committed to helping build the middle class. Well, I think that's important, but at the same time, I think people who are low-income residents need to be brought into the middle class as well. Own their own homes, start their own businesses, and at the end of the month, when you've been working 60 hours a week, you don't have money left in your paycheck after you pay your bills.
No, I did not attend. I was out there knocking on doors and phone banking as well. But based on the comments that were made by Ms. Bowser, if the commitment is to make Ward 8 stronger, if elected as your leader, to make sure we have accountability of those resources, that are coming to Ward 8 so we can ensure we have great education, housing, and make sure we build the small businesses in our community so that the middle class can rise up and succeed.
Thank you.
I did not attend the mayor's State of the District address, but she hit a couple of high notes that I find favor with transparency, accountability, clean government. But that being said, the issues that matter to Ward 8 are affordable housing. She talked about $100 million in the Housing Production Trust Fund. I think that number should be bigger. She also talked about closing the economic gap. And here in Ward 8, of course, the challenge is to be able to create jobs, but to create jobs without the displacement. So I heard a number of those things, and Ward 8 needs to be about creating jobs through this administration.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn.
Jahar Abraham, number 11 on the ballot. No, I did not attend. I'm very concerned that $1.3 million has been discussed about being taken away from Baloo's budget. In this community, we experience so much violence. In this particular school, in the past 9 years, we've had over 50 students murdered. I have not yet seen the mayor do what she said that she was going to do while she was campaigning, commit resources to community-based organizations to help deal with the issue of public safety. Public safety threatens the very growth and future of this community, and so far we have no response.
Thank you. Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, Andy Muhammad, keeping it all the way straight in Ward 8. No, I did not attend the mayor's State of the District. The mayor promised a Ward 8 deputy mayor for economic development. Even though she said something last night, we have no name of any person that's named her. She promised that LaRue May was going to be that. We haven't, she said it.
Thank you. No, I did not attend. But what I want to say is we can't keep saying what are we going to get. We get what we stand up for. For far too long, Ward 8 has been on the backbone of every issue involving health, housing, public safety. We just had a shooting 2 days ago. And my stance is when we get together as a unity, as a family, to start saying that we get what we demand for. We can't wait for a mayor, a council member, an ANC commissioner. We get what the residents stand up for. And that's why I'm coming for Ward 8.
An education-related question. So, first, let me ask, what are your plans to make sure that teaching and learning improve in Ward 8? Let's start with LaRue May. 30 seconds.
So, Mr. Murray, residents, when we look at improving the quality of education in our schools, we've got to begin at looking at having accountability among our teachers and among our administrative staff. And we have to look at bringing resources to our schools. One of the things that's been a detriment to our traditional schools is when a student is in a charter school and then they're put out and then they get to a neighborhood school, but the money doesn't follow them. And so we've got to make sure that the money follows the children and that the allocation of resources in our schools is adequate to serve our children.
Thank you. Next up.
First off, in the area of education, the first thing I would do when elected as Ward 8 councilmember, I would take the public school system out of the hands of the mayor and put it back in the hands of the superintendent who can run these schools. The mayor has enough to do without trying to run the schools. Also, I would do a moratorium on the charter schools. They're becoming private prisons. They're not educating our children. They're taking their money and running. That's the second order of business I would do. And thirdly, I would put the hands back in the hands of the principals to run these neighborhood schools like they used to run them.
So to answer your question, what would I do? First, we need to have a stronger focus on reading and mathematics. Our second thing, we need to make sure that we reestablish the parent centers in all Ward 8 schools. Not just some Ward 8 schools, but all of the Ward 8 schools. Then we have to change the conversation about what our students are talking about. We shouldn't be talking about, are we going to college? Are we going to have training? It's about what schools are we going to? What colleges are we going to? We have to hold our teachers accountable, and we have to make sure that we're meeting our students where they are.
Number 5 on the ballot again. Education is very important. I've learned that education is the second most important thing that Ward 8 people think about. And so one of the things that I would be doing is I would be trying to put an increase by 2% into the education budget. That's the first thing that I would do. One of the other things that I would do is I would support and push the bill that's on the table for equitable athletics that's sponsored by Councilmember Mendelson. No.
Yes, one of the things that I would look at doing is making sure that our principals and our teachers have greater flexibility in getting the assistance that they need. Looking at Turner Elementary School, for example, their math and reading scores are lower than expected, but Turner hired an assistant principal specifically focused on literacy. And Malcolm X Elementary School, they had extended hours so that our kids can focus on getting their reading and math scores and other grade level scores up. So I look at giving our principals and our teachers greater flexibility to have the resources.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
I agree with everything we said. In addition to those things, I want to put the building trade back in the schools. Every child is not going to college, so they need to have a trade when they get out of college and to make somebody a decent living. Also, I want to bring the military into the schools for mentoring as to a whole, those type of places. This way, the children see somebody other than the people in the neighborhood. They see somebody in uniform that's doing well. Also, I want to make sure the teachers' pay is decent so you get good teachers. If you don't have good teachers, you're not going to have good students. So what the teachers pay to
make sure that when a child graduates, they have the most fullest experience. I would increase funding to make sure that students have adequate after-school activities, extracurricular activities, sports programs are fully funded, as well as field trips. You know, because when the child goes to college, they're not just looking at their grade point average. What they also look at is what they participated in school. Were they in student government? What did they do exchange programs? Were they part of internships or programs at local universities? So I will make sure when the child graduates, they have the most fullest schooling.
Mr. Vanderpool.
Basically, ensuring resources are available from the early start, from elementary on up to high school. And what I mean by that is that you have to have these, ensuring that programs are available that are teaching students life skills. Also hold the parents, students, and teachers accountable and forming some kind of partnership so that everyone can succeed in the process of this child learning and getting out in the community and getting out in life. The other thing is that reading and math are the lowest, particularly in Ward 8. We need to strengthen those programs and make sure we're teaching children how to read and not read to learn. That way they're assured that success in the end of the school.
All right, Ballou, class of 79. Just wanted to say that it saddens me that the success rate here at Ballou is about 50%. 50% of our kids are dropping out here at Ballou, and that's a fact. But one of the things I support doing is making sure that we invest in parents. The number one indicator of a child's success is what? Parents. For every dollar that goes into the school system, we need to make sure we peel out a few cents, 5 cents, to make sure that it goes to parents. We also need to make sure that we remove the distraction caused by fear and hunger.
Thank you, Mr. Kinlaw. Mr. Abraham.
Jahar Abraham, number 11 on the ballot. A lot of candidates will talk about what they're going to do. I'll talk about what I've done. I stood on the front line addressing the racism and classism that allows the Wilson Building to have the audacity to talk about taking $1.3 million out of the budget of this school. So first we have to have that. And secondly, I will help with the community support work and social services. That's what we need in these schools. We had a very successful run helping bring people from the community in the school to assist the teachers and teaching.
All right, thank you.
Anthony Muhammad, vote Anthony Muhammad. The first thing I would do is stop the Teach for America teachers from handling our children in the formative years of their development. I would start STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in all grades in the school system. And the history of them coming into this country, the black children in this country need to know who they are.
Mr. White.
So one of the things we got to do is stop teaching towards the test. When you go to the schools, a lot of teachers are so strenuous on teaching towards the test. The word education comes from the word educare and ducos. That means to bring forward and bring out of. All young people have more to offer than just testing. They got art, skills, talents, gifts, and abilities that we can reach. Also, we got to get the parents more involved. We cannot educate our kids without getting the parents more involved. Most parents are afraid to come to school or get pushed out of school, so we got to get parents more involved. And we got to start hiring more teachers that look like us. You know, most teachers in the school really don't look like us. So we...
Thank you, Mr. White.
I believe that everything begins with education, whether it's in the school, the home, or on the street. I believe the best way for a council member to be involved with education is to be on the committee of education and to work with the city council right here with the chair, David Bronson. I believe that we put together legislation that will work for the children of Ward 8 and all the children of the city, that we will ensure that teaching and learning can be achieved.
Ward 8 has high crime rates and low graduation rates. What can you do as the next Ward 8 council member to address it? Let's start with Mr. Watson.
First thing you have to do is get this Rambo mentality of cops out of the city. 80% of the police in the city do not live in the city. I grew up being officer friendly. He knew the curbs. He knew what you're supposed to be doing and where you're supposed to be at all the time. So alleviate crime, you have to stop passing legislation that will lead to crime. It's senseless to me to pass decriminalization of marijuana and you're talking about putting children out of public high schools if they have marijuana charges. That's utterly ridiculous.
Thank you.
I think here in Ward 8, the first thing we really need to do is strengthen the relationships that we have with the 7th District Police Department. A police department themselves needs to go through sensitivity training on behalf of the community so they know how to better engage with residents right here in Ward 8. Additionally, I believe that in terms of our safety, we need to make sure that our residents understand really how to approach the officers. There's a lot of miscommunications about how residents should approach officers and how officers should approach the residents. Thank you.
As it relates to education and where we are in terms of education and crime, Anacostia, 30-something% rate of completion. We lose something like 50-something% rate of completion, and our rate of going to prison is like 80-something%. And the problem is with how we are viewed by the police. And so one of the things that we want to do is we want more sensitivity training, yes, but we also want to increase and give some teeth to the community to use that.
Ms. Bond.
Sheila Bond, number 6 on the ballot. I think we need to go back to the days of when our police officers and our community and faith-based organizations and the community worked together to make sure that we had programming for our young people. I remember when I was young growing up, organizations like our ANC commissions, they took us on trips, they kept us out of trouble. I think we need to get back to those days. In terms of our graduation rate, I think we need to make sure that we're reintroducing vocational education back into the schools so that our kids who don't necessarily go to college.
Thank you, Ms. Bond. Ms. Bond, thank you. Thank you. We're going to move to Ms. Stevens.
I'm working with the commander now. The guys who came on the street, they don't have to be there, but they're out there. So we're working on an initiative now to give them information on where they can go to get jobs, where they can go to get substance abuse treatment, where they can go to get that. They do not have to stand out there. That's one thing. The other thing is, I'm going to put a rec center in every elementary school so the kids have something to go after school. Right now they go home, they just hang in the street. So that's what I'm going to do. Recreation for kids after school and working with the 7th District right now on the street.
First thing I would do on the council is fight vigorously to change the legislation for the Human Rights Act of 1977, which states that no one can be discriminated on based upon age, gender, sex, sexual orientation, but I would add to that, you can't be discriminated based upon any criminal convictions. Also, as a business owner, having hired hundreds of convicted felons and ex-offenders out of this community, I know for a fact that when you give a man a job, you retire a criminal. So we need more jobs and we need to support more local business. Thank you, Mr.
The number one reason for increasing crime is decreased opportunities, that is for jobs and socioeconomic status. Ward 8 has been known to be high disproportionately with high disparities in Ward 8. The first thing we need to do is increase the create a safe haven for our students and individuals, creating more social outlets and mentors, big brothers and big sisters to help our students. The second thing is the community involvement. We need more policing, but also the community policing as well, and respect. There needs to be mutual respect between the police and the community.
All right, to reduce the crime rate, one of the things we're going to have to do is get back to old-fashioned community policing. That's where our police walk the beat. When they walk the beat, you'll see a reduction in crime. Capture those crimes. Additionally, we're going to have to make sure that we get back to some of the things that used to work. Anybody remember Officer Friendly during the elementary age? Well, those would work. They kept the police officers in close proximity to residents and young people. Also, the side-by-side band. We need to make more investments
in our young people and engage them so people can work with the
Thank you, Mr. Kinley. Mr. Abraham.
Jahar Abraham, number 11 on the ballot. I think we missed the point. I've been volunteering at DC jail for the past 9 years. Most all of the beds in that jail are filled by African American males. And what I want to say again is if we don't address the racism and the classism that causes this great disparity, we're never going to fix the problem. If you think Caucasians don't commit crime in DC, then you just missing it. Jahar Abraham, number 11 on the ballot.
First thing I'm doing right now, I'm on the CAC, I'm on the Citizen Advisory Board, the MPD, I'm the Vice President. I go inside of the prisons for 33 years. I am actively calling for an investigation for the 7th District because we have too many police that's going to be with your little girls in the 7th District, Ward 8. And no one has opened up their mouth. Just the second officer, Mr. Jones, that has been arrested for molesting little girls.
Thank you.
We need an investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad.
My name is Trey Allway. I believe there's a direct correlation between poverty and crime. So we have to address jobs in the community. When we get young people, older people, parents to jobs, to work, they don't have time to stand in the alley and rob someone for $60 or $100 because they're too tired of working. We also have to start policing our communities because when they had red hats or orange hats back in the day, walking through the neighborhoods, we have to start empowering our residents to start policing our own community and standing up. It's on us, Ward 8. We want our community to be better. Guess what? We have to make it better. Legislation ain't going to do it. Talking ain't going to do it. Standing up for the gap is going to do it.
The first thing that we really need to do is look at the different committees and the legislature that the District of Columbia has. What kind of laws are set forth to help the residents of Ward 8? A council member from Ward 8 should definitely be on the committee of judiciary affairs so that we can address the specific needs of our community. Without jobs and without living wages, we're going to see crime. People are not happy when they don't have things, when they can't make a living. And so we will see crime.
Thank you, Ms. Fuller.
Thank you. There is a strong relationship between crime and education. When Ballou High School was only graduating 43% of its black males, and when it's only graduating 57% of its black females, those individuals do not have a pathway to a career to the middle class. And so when we see that, what we recognize is that crime in those areas arise. So we have to address the education issues so that we address the employment issues so that then the residual impacts are crime.
All right, so this next question is about health. Health outcomes in Ward 8 lead the city and in some cases the nation for not so good reasons. HIV, AIDS, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney disease, folks on dialysis, you name it. As a Ward 8 council member, what would you do to help address many of these health crises? Let's start with Ms. Williams.
Thank you so much for that question. Well, as a former vice president of the new United Medical Center, as what I've already have done to address the healthcare needs of this community. First, it was about making sure that we had the proper doctors in our hospital that address the issues that Ward 8 residents have. Making sure that we have the proper programs, making sure that we're focused on different specialties so that when residents come into our hospital, that we can address their healthcare needs. My job is to make sure that we not only brought them to the hospital, but that the hospital went out to the community.
Thank you. We're going to move on.
Healthcare is a very important issue that some of the seniors have told me about. And one of the #1 things that I've been hearing about healthcare has been the fact that when you go to a facility, you're spending a lot of time in the waiting room. And the reason why is because I believe that our current hospital, the United Medical Center, is understaffed. So one of the things we need to do is we need to redirect more funding to that facility so that we can hire more staff, so that we can get people through the process and to the doctors in a timely fashion.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Bill about number 6 on the ballot. What I've been promoting long before Mayor Bowser said that she wanted to do it was making sure that we rebuild a brand new state-of-the-art acute care facility here east of the river in Ward 8. We also need to make sure that we are supporting United Medical Center with an integrated healthcare network. by building community clinics like Community of Hope in Atlantic Street, so that our residents are not running to the emergency room, using the emergency room as their primary care physician. So building up
Thank you, Ms. Bond. Ms. Bond, thank you, Ms. Seegers.
As real leadership, real results on the second on the ballot. We can build all the hospitals we want to build. We have to get the person to the hospital. Most of us stay at home and do the home remedies and think it's going to help. So what I'm going to do is build a committee to the churches, the community organizations, and some of the community leaders. Have them go out into the community, especially in the public housing and the low-income areas, to go out and knock on doors and talk to them, see what's going on. And this will be separate and in addition to DHS.
Thank you, Ms. Seegers.
First and foremost, I would focus on preventive health care measures. We have one grocery store in Ward 8 to serve almost 80,000 people. We don't have one gym in Ward 8. So I would focus more on, we live in a food desert. So I would encourage the city to investigate more urban farming at the Oak Hill facility in Laurel, where the city does own hundreds of acres of land, which can be used to grow fresh fruits and vegetables, so to promote healthy lifestyles and healthy eating choices for the people in this community.
I'm already doing it. I've already created a healthy lifestyle modification program with senior residents and here in Ward 8. And there we've done stress management, healthy lifestyle modification through cooking classes, healthy cooking classes, fitness classes, and I also give them chiropractic care for free. These are the things I'm already doing. And I've already helped with Yvette Alexander create a bill, Bill 20-174, to increase access to chiropractic care. Back pain is #1 cause of disability in the world. And so we need to address these issues secondarily to these other chronic issues.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kinlow.
All right, we all know that in Ward 8 we've got a high incidence of cancer and a number of other things that you talked about, HIV and transmission. First thing we need to do is stabilize our biggest asset with healthcare, UMC. We need to really make that a state-of-the-art facility. Since it was K-Fred, so Greater Southeast, that institution has been troubled. We need to make sure we stabilize it, make the massive investments. We also need to make sure that we provide for other centers that are open maybe even 24 hours a day, that allow people to come in and get screened.
Jahar Abraham, again number 11 on the ballot. Again, I go back to racism and classism. There's a direct correlation between healthcare and education. We see our children coming to school eating Doritos and Fritos and candy, drinking sodas. And so, again, we have to deal with the racism, classism, and it's our responsibility to get out in the community and educate our people. Thank you.
Are you all right, sir?
I apologize, Mr. Muhammad. Easy. All right, Mr. Muhammad, we're going to reset your clock.
Yeah, reset the clock. What I would do would have a dietitian in all the schools to take all the junk machines that's in the schools to stop the vendors that's making millions of dollars off of our children with the vending machines that's inside of most of the schools. Take all the food that's out in the schools that have high fructose corn syrup, which they know is a killer to most of our children in here that causes overweightness with most of the children in the public school system. So those things need to be done so their diet would be better.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Mr. White.
So one of the things, Treon White, so one of the things I would do is reinstitute the Ward 8 Health Council. We got to start having healthy dialogue and education about how to eat healthy. And also we got to get more money into our homes. I found a lot of times that towards the end of the month, most of our young people are eating, like you said, junk food, don't have money on their food stamps or ran out of money towards the end of the month. And so we got to get more people to jobs. We got to have more healthy stores in Ward 8 because we can't die healthy, we have to eat healthy. I eat what my mother ate, my grandmother ate, my grandmother ate, my great-grandmother ate. So we got to re-educate ourselves on what healthy food really is.
Thank you, Mr. White.
The next generation. It's about preventive health. It's not waiting until you get sick to where you have to go to the doctor. It's about food establishments that have good, nourishing, fresh fruits and vegetables. It's about teaching the youth at home and at school how to eat responsibly and about the parents doing the same thing. If we can start now teaching preventive health care, we don't need all the health establishments.
Thank you. We know that in order to increase to look at our health crisis. We need greater access to healthy food options for our children. We need greater access to recreation for our children and our seniors. But let me tell you what I can do at the council that's going to impact a large number of Ward 8 residents. Is on October 1, when SNAP and TANF gets cut off, for a lot of our members, is being down there to fight to make sure that our families still get that money so they're able to go to the store and be able to provide food for their families.
First off, we need to deal with this on the educational level. We need to go to these elementary schools and teach these youngsters the need for a good healthy lives. But more important than that, we also becoming slaves of our own habits. It's almost becoming a mental health issue. There's mental health in there. We are not taking advantage of the things we do. Our children are following the examples of their parents. So if their parents eat a lot of nonsense, then they're going to likewise eat that. We must educate everybody as to why we need healthy
families and people. I think the most important economic project in Ward 8, the greatest asset in Ward 8 is the people, and that's what's missing. If you don't invest in the people, it don't matter how many beautiful schools, buildings, swimming pools, rec centers. If you don't invest in the people, nothing is going to change. So I would invest in the people. People number one.
Next question for Mr. Muhammad. What will you do to help ex-offenders?
What I've been doing for over 33 years. I've been going inside of the prisons, all of it, up and down the East Coast, and I've been giving them food, clothing, rides, helping out with their families, and a number of things that they need. I would make sure that they would be able to get all their IDs when they get out without having to pay all the money that they have to pay in buying, getting a license, getting a birth certificate, and the things that...
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. White, as council member, how do you plan to work with the new deputy mayor of East of the River that the mayor is supposed to appoint?
Well, it's a new position that we have in Ward 8, and I would like to know more about what the roles and responsibilities are. But if anyone knows straight on, I want to bring in everybody, from the young people to the old people to the seniors to the parents. And so I sit on the table, we have monthly meetings, of course, see what their roles and responsibilities is a new position. And we honestly don't know a lot about it. So we're looking to learn more about it, how I can work with the deputy mayor.
Thank you. What specific initiatives will you begin to mentor, strengthen, and protect our youth?
Well, first of all, I would go into some of the community organizations that already work with the youth and help strengthen them by helping them with grants, organizations in our community, for Southeast Collaborative, to work with the youth to ensure that we have safe and youth are safe on our street and able place to go for mentoring and learning more about education.
Okay, thank you. Next up is... So the question is, what would you do as our council member to protect, strengthen, and support Ward 8 small businesses?
What I would do to protect and strengthen Ward 8 small businesses is begin to look at leveraging the resources of the government to offer incentives, whether or not those are tax incentives or incentives for businesses to locate in Ward 8 so that they're able to thrive and be successful. Because what we know is Ward 8 businesses hire Ward 8 residents, and that's what we're going to do, is strengthen the businesses to give them the capacity to hire more residents.
All right, thank you. Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson, this question is for you. What is your proposal to close the gap between Ward 8 and other wards?
First off, you have to close the educational gap. When you look at Ward 8, we're the poorest ward in the city. But we got the poorest in terms of getting resources. It's just that we have a lot of people misrepresenting the interest of Ward 8. They're not taking everybody forward. They're only taking themselves and self-standing. At the end of the day, I will strengthen our ward, making sure we don't displace the many people who have suffered in this ward. They should get the good times because they'll definitely get through the bad times. So it goes to economics. I will strengthen economics.
Why should I give you my vote to be the next council member in Ward 8? This is from a student here at Baloo.
think that you should give me your vote because, one, I came here to Ward 8 and I didn't ride anyone's coattail. I came here and I planted my feet very firm right here in Ward 8. I worked as a top aide to Councilmember Berry. Today I serve as president of the Ward 8 Dems. I've worked hard in my community as the chair of the Advisory Neighborhood Commission. And so I have a proven track record of working very hard for the residents of Ward 8.
Thank you. Let me say that again. Ward 8's unemployment rate was 17.7%. Clear, this is double the city and obviously the nation. What is your plan to create quality living wage or high quality jobs?
So I spoke earlier about the city being complicit in the process of gentrification. And what that means is that the city owns a lot of property in this ward. A lot of vacant homes in this ward. And so one of the things that I would be doing is I would be trying to put that property online. So I would be looking at small developers who operate in Ward 8 to give them the contracts to put a number of those properties online in 30 days, because that will create jobs in the ward for people who live in the ward and housing.
Thank you, Ms.
Great question, because my vision for Ward 8 is simple: jobs, jobs, and more jobs. Good living wage jobs. And one of the ways I plan to do that is to develop a strong partnership with our labor unions so that our folks can get into their apprenticeship programs, because in those programs we know they pay for your training. When you walk out of that program, you walk into a job with employee paid benefits like health insurance, retirement, for you to support your family. So that's what I plan to do with Ward 8, develop a partnership with our unions to bring living wage jobs.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn.
But first thing I want to do, I want to introduce legislation. The government jobs we have here in D.C. should be for D.C. residents. So I want to introduce legislation that we are hired first. Secondly, I want to change the first source agreement for the contracts. Right now, a new developer does not have to hire anybody in D.C. unless they are new hirees. So I want to change it that they have to hire 51% of D.C. residents, period. And I also want to enforce the Section 3 of the HUD. When they build properties, DC money, you have to hire DC residents.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett.
What I would do is first start with the government and with the laws that are already in place. Right now, there's minority business laws that say on city contracts, it's supposed to be 35 and 50% minority participation. But that's not being followed, not only for private contracts, but also within the government. Vincent Owens noticed out that it was $750 million that went unspent that was supposed to be earmarked for minority businesses that went to other agencies. So we need to, one, investigate that and make sure the money is getting to the contractors that are hiring people right here in this community.
Thank you, Ms.
You have programs like CC Prep and Project Hope, the Hope Project. I believe Mr. Bell is the CEO and facilitated that program. When you have people like that who actually make sure we have great programs that train students to become IT specialists, that's the kind of stuff that we need. More great training programs that produce actually real results. So within 3 months, my sister actually got the training, and now she's hired by making living wage jobs through the Project, the Hope Project, I'm sorry. So the Hope Project plus our staff are key to success.
Thank you. Mr. Kinlow.
All right, if you want to create jobs, reduce unemployment, and provide for a living wage, we're going to do a few things differently. One, we know that the unemployment rate is about 18%, but it's really probably twice that high. Probably about 35% here in Washington, D.C. One, we need to make sure that the training dollars that are spent are appropriate. We spend about $100 million a year in training, but many of those jobs do not lead to jobs in the future. We spend money on training that does not lead to jobs. That's a problem. We need better monitoring down at the city council. Thank you.
Abraham, number 11 on the ballot. Again, the first thing I'm addressing is the racism and the classism. The city has a $14 billion budget. There's enough money in this city to take care of all the residents. That's the first thing. So if we're not going to be truthful about that, we spend so much money on all these programs for people from Maryland, people from Virginia get to come in and participate in the programs because there's no enforcement. So I know that we have enough money in D.C. to take care of the people in D.C., and that would be my focus immediately. Jahar Abraham, number 11 on the ballot.
Thank you.
Anthony Muhammad,
Mr. Muhammad.
12 on the ballot. Not just enforcing it, the first source agreement, you need those who will enforce it. You do not have the inspectors to go around and make sure the people from Ward 8 that live in this city are hired. The first source agreement needs to be put on the city council. They hire people who are not from this city. You have a new director for the Department of Transportation that's from Germany. We need to enforce the first source.
So I know for a fact that we have between 900 and 1,100 new residents coming to Washington, D.C. every month. Why? Because there are jobs here. Every time I walk in the community, I hear someone, Trey, I need a job, Trey, I need a job. So my responsibility as a councilman is to connect the people to the job. So in the IT field in 2013, we had 9,000 unfulfilled IT jobs. In the health field, security field, hospitality field, Washington, D.C. has opportunities, so it's our job as council members, as leaders, to get the people to the jobs, to get the people to the careers. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Mann.
Ward 8 businesses get contracts and opportunities. They hire Ward 8 residents. When there are PLA agreements on contracts so that unions have opportunities, they hire the hard-working residents of Ward 8. That gives us an opportunity to address the unemployment issues that we have. Ward 8 companies hire Ward 8 businesses. We must make sure that Ward 8 companies are getting the contracts and the opportunities to be a successful business to hire Ward 8.
I think we're missing the mark. We have to look historically. 4 mayors, 3 council members for the past 20 years have not done anything for Ward 8. So we have to be true about that. They're not done anything for Ward 8 because we demand because no one's investing over here. At the end of the day, we need to put our people first and make sure they get the resources they need to do the job. And we should start by going back and put vocational training in schools so they will be ready to take on real life situations.
Okay, the first thing I would do is make sure that we are training our residents for the actual jobs that are coming to Ward 8. When these builders come into our ward, they know what jobs are at hand. And I would force the builders to make sure that they identify these jobs years in advance so that we can make sure that our residents are being trained. Then we need to create a database of Ward 8 workers who want to work, and let's identify their skills. And so when jobs come into the ward, if we're able to go to this database and say, John wants a job, he's a skilled carpenter, let's connect him with the folks who are hiring.
Do you support the new soccer stadium?
Yes.
Okay, let's keep it going.
No.
Yes.
Yes, but it should be Ward 8.
I agree, yes, it is in order.
No. Yes.
Not until I understand how it benefits the ward.
Yes, as long as it's providing job opportunities for Ward 8.
No.
Yes.
All right, what about a Redskins stadium? Let's start on the other end.
I am not for using that name. I'm about Washington football.
I'm sorry, I need a yes or no. I apologize.
But would I support bringing the Washington football team back to the district? Absolutely.
It's yes or no. We can talk about politics afterwards, so yes or no. Yes, sir, right here.
The question is, do I support the Redskins football team?
Redskins football team.
Of course I will. We should have never lost in the first place.
Absolutely.
150%.
Yes.
Yes, let's beat Dallas.
We'd love to have them back in the city and those tax dollars, as long as they change that name.
Yes, change the name.
No, not until the homeless people live somewhere.
Yes.
Do you support streetcars in Anacostia and in Ward 8? Easy.
I do not.
No.
No.
Categorically no.
No.
No streetcars in Anacostia.
No.
No.
As my grandmother would say, hell no.
Historic preservation. Mr. White, do you support it? Yes or no? Historic preservation.
Yes.
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 Yeah, we need to preserve Barry Collins' historic as well.
Yes.
I live in historic Anacostia. Yes.
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 Yes. 150% yes.
An attribute that you would bring to the council. One word, an attribute about you. Let's start on the other end with Ms. Fuller.
Problem solver.
Is that a hyphenated word?
One word to describe us as a company.
Yes, you.
Winner.
Fighter.
Results.
Determination.
Experience.
Honesty.
Unified.
Fearless.
Vision. Service.
Courage.
Homegrown.
Easy. The order in which the closing remark will go to will be selected from this envelope, and the person is Eugene Kindler. We have 30 seconds to close this out.
When we had a proposal to put a private president award, I fought and defeated it. When we wanted to put a trash transfer station in the ward, I fought and defeated it. I'm a fighter for Ward 8. Ward 8 wants a fighter. We need a fighter that can move Ward 8 from the distractions of the past into the future. Vote Kinlow on April 28th. You don't have to wait till then. You can vote a little earlier. But I need your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stuart Anderson, number 5 on the ballot. And the first thing I want to do is thank everybody for coming out for this straw poll. Then I want to thank the almost 500 families that I've already knocked on doors and talked to who helped me come up with the 4 things that are a part of the Green Team platform. And those things, again, as a reminder on the way out is this. We want to strengthen families to increase public safety. We want to try our best to create some jobs and put more money into the educational system. And those are jobs with wages. And then we want to create some homes and employ them through the process.
Thank you.
Mr. Muhammad, number 12 on the ballot. I have the testicular fortitude that will give this war a new and better way forward. I am a balloon knight. I've been in the war all of my life. And if you don't know what that word means, maybe you need to look it up. Yes, that will give you the courage. Yes, if you think I'm out of my mind, then this is what it's going to take to get Ward 8 moving.
Thank you.
Ward 8 needs a fighter and someone who knows how to collaborate and how to win. We need to stop surviving and begin thriving. I will be their leader. I will not let special interests stand in the way of what is right for the residents of Ward 8. I will be honored to be your next city councilwoman, and I am the first name on the ballot, Greta Fuller. First for the people.
From Ward 8, of Ward 8, and for Ward 8. I bring strong, young, innovative leadership to our ward. Always been a fighter. A lot of people didn't know who I was, didn't know my name. I've been on the front line fighting for our people because I was told that it was in my bloodline to stand out and fight for our people. Proud like the Ward 8. Thank you.
I've been in Ward 8 since 1969. I moved from Southwest. I'm a graduate of Balloon High School. I'm a Balloon Knight. I'm a leader. I'm honest. the homelessness and jobs. So I need your vote April 28th on the Saturday ballot. I'm going to say that's God's number, and I'm God's number.
And you're going to win. Outside.
Ward 8 need a negotiator and navigator. You looking at it. I don't need no on-the-job training. I've been on the city council twice. I'm skilled. I'm more credentials than anyone on this dais. And you cannot begin to talk about moving this board forward unless you move the residents of Borough Farm quickly. If not, you only whistle and Dixie. At the end of the day, we have to move all aspects of this board. Not a select few. And you have to be judged by the content of your character, not by your record rhetoric.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Again, Mr. Abraham, Jahar Abraham, on the left on the ballot. First, I speak to you. I'm not a politician, but I believe in public service. And in the past 12 years, I've had the not so nice privilege of going to over 1,000 funerals of young men and women being murdered in this city. What I'm interested in is building people. I'm interested in building people. So you can vote for anybody else you want to. But if you're serious about helping people and humanity, Jahar Abraham is your man.
I'm a trendsetter, a hard worker, and I get things done. As a valued leader in my profession, a policymaker and legal survivor, I will take that experience and with a holistic approach, use that to ensure we have the resources and accountability available so that all Ward 8 residents can rise up and succeed. So on April 28th, I ask, one, need, and thank you in advance for your vote. Vote number 9 on the ballot, Dr. KFC, Dr. Keita for council. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vanderpool.
In the words of the late great Miss Shirley Chisholm, I am unbought and unbossed. I have a young child and I'm concerned about the educational outcomes of our community. I work a 9 to 5 like many of you. I've overcome a life-threatening experience like some of you. I have the professional posture to lead, the willingness to serve, the legislative experience to get results, and I have a heart full of love and compassion for the residents of Ward 8. Natalie Williams, number 4 on the ballot. Thank you.
I've had the privilege of serving Ward 8 with jobs, education, housing. I've seen young people rise to college graduates. I've seen ex-offenders rise to employees. I've seen seniors in deplorable housing rise to quality housing. And on April 28th, with your help, so 8 may rise. So 8 may rise. So 8 may rise. So 8 may rise. Thank you. Number 2 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. May. We have 2 more left.
And just as I sit at the center of this table, when I get in the government, I want to be someone who brings balance and equality back to this board. As far as the resources and the funding that we receive in this community. I've been around politics my entire life. I understand not just what goes on in the needs of people in the board, but also how business is done in the Wilson building. I may have had some troubles in my past, but I haven't been out in the community and felt the love and the prayers of the people. I want to thank you for that, and it's given me the strength to carry on. I vote Myron Seabury, number 8 on the ballot, April 28th.